Friends, it's profile time. Thank you, whoever that was.
It was James.
Yeah. I knew who it was, I just wanted to give the listeners a bit of mystique.
Yeah.
We comment on strong. Bit of mystique for you there.
It's good, Pete.
Straight in there with the witticisms.
What is wrong with you today?
Well,
Drunk Marcus is fun, Marcus.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit excited about this this chap that is going in to the Dean Windass Hall of Fame. His name is Arthur Antunes Coimbra. You and I know him as Zico.
Yeah.
The White Pele.
Arthur, again, it's like Alan Valderrama again. Arthur Zico.
Let's not go down that route again. We could be here for hours.
Again.
Zico, he was born on the 3rd of March 1953.
14 years before the Summer of Love.
Cheers, pal.
That's all right. Can we just get like Pete, can you pre-record like a load of those? Yeah. Just put a number in. Just punch the number in where it's relevant. Just press a button.
Yeah, it'd be like an automated thing.
If somebody could make an iPhone app that does that.
Yeah.
He was, well, how would you describe this man? A number 10.
Playmaker.
Attacking midfielder.
A playmaker with an extraordinary scoring record.
They're the footballer, Richard.
Yeah. But while we're doing those, can I just get the old in? But Marcus, has he ever gone to the DW Stadium on a Tuesday night when it's been raining and performed?
Why is rainy northern football equated with sort of like really having the guts to last it?
I mean, it's technically a bad playing field, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Why would he want to? Would be my answer to that. Yeah.
Well, what I can tell you that he was the youngest of 6 children. And he was known at home as Arthurzinho and then Arthur Zico. So you can see where the name Zico came from.
Yeah, from his nickname.
Yeah.
That's right, James.
Someone's keeping up to date.
Yeah.
In the mid-60s, Zico's brothers, Edu and Antunes, they played for Rio de Janeiro sides, America and Fluminense. And often people the reporters and the journalists would say to them, so who's the best one in your family? Usually referring to each one of them, who's the best out of you two. But they would always turn around and go, well, what you want to do is you want to go to our neighbourhood and you'll find our little brother Arthur running around with the football glued to his feet.
Yeah.
He's the best one in our family. And my goodness, they were right.
That's what you say about me and my family.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Was your sister not much
I've
of a
only got
player?
a sister, yeah.
I mean, Edu and Antunes, they were decent players, but they never achieved what the great man Zico did. Zico did say, though, that he says it really helps when you've got 2 players in the family who have already gone through everything you're going to face in the future. I was able to follow their careers at close quarters and used to watch all their training sessions and games. Whenever I needed something, I could always turn to them. But aside from that, I loved playing football. So it was very helpful for him, so he could see all the ins and outs of the game, so he effectively had a head start, really, on a lot of players. And he loved Flamengo from a young age, perhaps that his father influenced him there. He said when we were born, each of us was given a Brazil kit and a Flamengo kit straight away.
I'm picturing like a really sort of idyllic family life. Yeah. I feel all warm and cosy just thinking about it.
That's it. Zico came from a lower middle-class family in Rio, and when he was 14, his brother Edu was playing for America, and he was trying to get him a trial there, So he managed to get him to play one match, I think, and he caught the attention of various people and was offered a trial at his beloved Flamengo. And that was the start of many wonderful things, although he had to wait till he was 16 to play in the first youth championship for the club in 1969. Now, Luke, is it true that the Brazil, you've read the book on this, they didn't have a proper league until the late 70s?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they won the World Cup twice before they had a proper organised league. Professional league, yeah.
That is incredible.
Wow. It was all sort of a bit sporadic in different sort of state championships, and there was lots of different sort of arrangements, and they only formulated a proper sort of coherent league system very late on, compared to places like England and in Europe and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was around that sort of time. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, well, he kind of says that the youth system was kind of a bit jumbled here and there with various ages, and he said, you're often playing against lads who were quite a few years older than you, which is always difficult.
It was very disorganised. I mean, for example, for the national call-ups, that what the national coach would just ring the director or the manager or whatever of all the clubs, the top clubs, on reputation, say, right, on this date, send us your 4 best players to this city, and then we'll have a look at them. And they used to pick the national squad based on that.
Wow, it's incredible.
Because there was no sort of infrastructure really.
They were still one of the best teams in the world, Brazil.
Some of the more isolated areas in Brazil, there's talk of like referees having to travel like 2 weeks to referee a game and stuff. Bloody hell. It's crazy, it's crazy.
Well, can you imagine if you're a club manager and you've got an important match coming up, I'll send you your 4 best players, you're gonna send out YTS, you're gonna send out kids.
Well, there's all sorts of talk, I mean, this is a bit later on, but of Brazilian managers and picking sort of players just to almost advertise them to European clubs, so they would sign them and so they'd get more money into the football.
Zico also said that he had a very skinny physique in the early days, and this was kind of going against him.
Didn't we all, Marcus? All fell away.
I was tiny as a child.
But he was so good though that the club they invested in an innovative program designed to help the man who was called Galinho, which is the little rooster.
Nice.
Zico's former nickname, to bulk up. He was put through a lot of bodybuilding paces with the doctors and the fitness coach to try and get him up to speed, really, because they thought this guy's going to be brilliant, but he'll just get battered around in these leagues, you know. But he made his first team debut in 1971, and he did say that I think that I would have made it as a footballer anyway, because it's not all about physique at the end of the day. Being strong but knowing how to play won't get you anywhere, but it is true that it made me more sure of myself. Flamengo, with Zico in the team, went on to win 6 state championships, 3 national championships, and the Copa Libertadores and the Intercontinental Cup.
Intercontinental.
Yeah. He went to Udinese after that, and they've quite a lot of money as well, I remember.
He did, yeah. Well, he was loving his time at Flamengo, because he said the good thing was that they had a great squad at Flamengo, and they all loved Flamengo. They were all Flamengo from an early age, and he just said it was a wonderful time, because they won more titles at Flamengo in that short space of time than Flamengo had previously won.
Oh right.
So it was incredible, you know. And he said, and as a fan, it was a great feeling to have been a part of that. And he said, to be honest, I would have loved to have been watching from the stands during my time at the club.
Watching himself.
You're right, Luke. He did move to Udinese between 83 and 85.
So 3.5 million or so. There's quite a lot of money.
It was a lot of money. It was a lot of money. It was a big move, and they were just little minnows. It was a funny move, actually.
Yeah.
That seemed to happen a lot more then, though.
Yeah, well, obviously Napoli and Maradona is a great example.
That was like 5.5 million, wasn't it, I think?
Yeah, but he transformed them into a proper side, you know. Unfortunately, he had a few injuries towards the end of one of the seasons there, so their push for kind of finishing right up there with all the big boys kind of dropped off slightly. But he did score in one year 19 goals, which was one less than the Championship's top scorer Michel Platini, having played 6 matches less than the Frenchman.
It's fair to say that Zico loved a free kick.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved a free kick. He'd stick him right in the very top corner.
Yeah.
His goal scoring record was superb for what was essentially a playmaker.
Oh, he was absolutely superb. What a playmaker he was there. We've got to talk about his
goal maker.
Well, all that.
Oh, yeah, see.
He played at 3 World Cups, 78, 82 and 86.
It's interesting that he was part of that 82 side,
it was
because they didn't win, but I think I'm right in saying they're sort of considered the greatest team Brazil have ever produced, despite not winning the World Cup.
They say that they're definitely, I think they're definitely one of the most sort of highly regarded in Brazil.
Yeah,
highly regarded than other teams who've won it. Who won the World Cup, you know.
The Brazil 82 side was one of the best, most attractive football playing sides
in 86
ever.
He didn't start a game, but he came on as sub, didn't he, a few times, because all the crowd were calling for him all the time.
Oh, is that right?
And obviously they didn't do much in 86.
Yeah.
But he came off the bench quite a few times, I know that. But 82 was definitely the sort of the zenith of his international career. His goal scoring record for Brazil was also very good for a playmaker.
Oh, well. Very much
more
so,
than 1 and 2, certainly.
Yeah. Absolutely. He said, with regards to playing under Tele Santana, who was the coach of the 82 side, he said, it's always important to leave a legacy, but what matters to the professional is the title. I'm happy to have been a part of a team like that, and people everywhere still remember us, but I would be even happier had we have won the title.
Yeah, of course.
Which is obvious. That Brazilian team of the 82 World Cup was just unbelievable. Yeah. And some of the goals he scored, as you say, Luke, it was against Scotland. He scored a great free kick.
He's a bastard for a free kick. Absolute bastard for a free kick. I'd stick him up there, from what I've seen, as one of the best free kick takers of all time.
Yeah, I think so. So moving on from his exploits for Brazil, he finished playing in Brazil for Flamengo.
He went back to Flamengo again, didn't he?
He did, and he finished off playing there in 89.
How did he do there? I do love a triumphant return.
Yeah, he did all right. I think he did okay. Yeah, I mean, he sort of like Marcus. He got a bit frustrated for injury when he was in Italy towards the end of it.
Yeah.
Then he went back to Flamengo for a bit, and then Marcus, didn't he go to Kashima Antlers after that?
He did, yeah. Sorry, James. To answer your question, he did win the Rio State Championship and the Brazilian Championship in 86 and 87. So he had a pretty good time of it when he came back. He did go to Japan, Luke, in the early 90s, and Kashima Antlers was the side there.
He's loved there, isn't he?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, he turned them, again, they were a very small side, and they became a real force on the domestic and the Asian scene. He also has a statue in his honour outside the Kashima Stadium.
Oh.
And we love a statue on the on the Ramble.
I love a statue and a glorious comeback.
That's right. He went on to manage Japan and won the Asia Cup in 2004, and they qualified for the 2006 World Cup finals. Didn't do brilliantly at 06 World Cup, but still he got them there. He managed Fenerbahce in Turkey, and he won the league and cup in his first year, and he got them past the group stages for the first time in their history in the Champions League.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. Was that with Kazim Richards in the side?
I think it might have been, yeah.
What year was it?
Colin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kazim.
Roberto Carlos was definitely playing.
Right, okay, yeah.
He also managed in Uzbekistan, winning the league and cup, and then had brief stints at CSKA Moscow and Olympiacos.
Well travelled then. He's almost like a sort of Brazilian boy.
Yeah.
He's a citizen of the world, James.
Yes. Well, that means you were born on a plane, doesn't it? So.
Oh yeah, it does.
No, he isn't.
I think he's a real quintessential number 10.
Yeah.
Especially South American. Just the grace in which he played the game.
He was really skillful. I'll tell you another thing he was a real bastard for was going around the keeper.
Oh, yeah.
Going around the keeper all the time.
That's right.
If you go on to... If you, because I used to have this video called "The Greatest Moments of World Soccer." I think it was given away if you collected coupons for like Smith's Crisps or something.
Yeah, I've got it.
And there was Zico was involved, but he
presented by Brian Robson.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, in a terrible shirt.
That's right.
I think we talked about it before. But if you go onto, even if you want to just go onto YouTube and find a compilation of him, the amount of times the old hip swivel, the drop of the shoulder, round the defender, then round the keeper, and just put it in. He used to go around the keeper all the time. He wasn't just a player who would have the ball on the string and lend the ball out and get it back. He would beat players as well quite consistently, and he would score a lot.
Yeah. When I think of Zico, I think of him receiving the ball and just opening the body out, and then suddenly the whole pitch just like opening like the blooming the Red Sea, you know. And it just pinging passes, shooting,
tracking.
Yeah, exactly. Going
frantically backtracking. Yeah.
Backing off and thinking about getting in, but backing off instead.
Yeah.
They didn't really have a plan after he got the ball.
No.
So it's like, don't allow him to have any ball time. Oh God, he's got the ball.
Yeah.
He's getting
everybody
ball
back!
time.
Everybody back!
Panic! Everyone in goal!
Yeah.
Rush keeper.
Go around every keeper. Not even Phil Jagielka could stop him.
No. Pele said he was the closest thing to him. I think that's just a word.
He was probably standing next to him at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Pele's rarely lucid these days.
No. Maybe Pele was just a black Zico.
Oh, yes. It could be said. But I shall end with a quote. The great man said... That's Zico. The great man said, "I'd like to be remembered as someone who loved what he did. As someone who was consistently very professional and keen to improve, as well as someone who always played fair and dedicated himself, body and soul, to football."
Come in. Welcome.
Here he comes. Number 10.
Yeah, number 10. Famous number 10.
Famous number 10.
He's a bastard for being in the Doom Wonder Hall.
Yeah, he is, yeah.